And welcome back. We are here with the political director for the Clark County GOP, Nick Phillips. Welcome. Thanks for coming on. What's your point?
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, thanks, Nick. Well, we have found out that the registration numbers are looking great in Washoe County, which is in northern Nevada for Republicans, and of course in the rural areas. Not so much in Clark, though. We're still down by a hefty number. However, that's really good for Republicans for a midterm election on turnout. So let's just get started. What are you hearing here for the Attorney General's race?
Well, for the Attorney General's race, obviously, we've got Ross and Adam, and we've got Ross running around and beating up Adam for his, being in the military, and that makes him not qualified because all he was doing was pushing paper. And there's just so many veterans out there that's just so offensive to. There's lots of veterans who are coming out nationally. There's two-star generals. There's other JAG officers around the country saying, hey, this is just wrong. This guy is out here. He's qualified. He's been a lawyer. He went to Georgetown. He's done all these great things to service, as service for our country. And here he is, Ross Miller, who's partying and going out and taking gifts and going to UFC fights and, doing all these things that other people don't get to do and really abusing his office. How can he sit there in this office and say, hey.
So are you feeling pretty comfortable then with where Adam is right now? Because they seem to be neck and neck, and I don't think the Miller campaign was expecting it to get this close.
Yeah, no, it's very close. It's definitely neck and neck. We're very excited as to where we are. Obviously, polling that close, it's really, a toss-up either way. So we'll see where we end up after the election.
Your hyperbolic overreaction to Miller's suggestion that he was processing paperwork in Iraq. And since when, by the way, is processing paperwork some kind of unpatriotic activity within the military? I understand it's always been quite a bit of that actually goes on. This notion that just because you raise questions about what he did in Iraq, what he actually did, because he said he's prosecuting terrorists, right? We really don't have anything about that. We really don't have any evidence of that. It's a fair question, but raising the question, all of a sudden it's this despicable attack on his military record. I think you understand why, because what else does Adam Laxalt have, really? I mean, he can't run on his private sector record here in the state, which his own colleagues say is a train wreck, and so the only thing that he's got left in this campaign is to complain that, oh, they're beating up on me because I was in the military. Boo-hoo. That's what he's doing. That's his whole campaign. That is his whole campaign now.
It's actually the opposite. He was beating up on Ross Miller for the gifts that he's been receiving and all the, Mr. Transparency who hides all of his money that he's spending inside of his Chase, credit card.
But he did disclose them all.
No, but he didn't, because there's $140,000 that he paid with his Chase credit card that there's no disclosure as to where that went. We don't know if he was taking friends out and going to dinners, or we don't know if he was spending money on TV ads. We don't know what he was doing. And for somebody who's so excited about transparency to bury and hide $140,000 in there and to accept $80,000 in gifts while he's been in office and then say, oh, it's a learning endeavor. Oh, he's going to UFC fights and he's going to concerts and shows as a learning endeavor. And then he's dealing with the businesses that are the businesses that are giving him these things. He's dealing with them on a professional level in his capacity as Secretary of State.
Can I change tack real quick on this race real quickly? I mean, as I look at this, and again, you look at the record that comes out with Laxalt, and you look at the strange thing that he had with Bill Raggio's wife, and oh, Bill Raggio would have endorsed me, and all kinds of other strangeness with this campaign. And really, what it boils down to is, why couldn't Republicans find someone, especially given this mountain of evidence of what a horrible person Ross Miller is? Why did they have to go to somebody that basically moved to the state 15 minutes ago and doesn't have any record in Nevada? Why couldn't they find someone, a Republican here in Nevada, who actually has a track record in Nevada of achievement and accomplishment to run against Ross Miller, and instead had to settle for this newbie? What happened there?
It's not settling. He's got a great track record. He's got a great amount of experience. He's been a great patriot.
Train wreck, barely competent. It's a magnificent track record.
It's not true.
Would you hire him as a lawyer?
If you go and talk to his bosses at that law firm, they actually have come out and said, no, that's not true. Those are not real things.
And he's a fifth-generation Nevadan.
Right.
So he's not just somebody
who
just
has lived in the
Beltway
his entire life, except for the time that he was valiantly protecting America from patriots or from terrorists.
Let me jump in. Let's just jump in.
Let's move on to another race.
Let's go to state senate, because there's some really hot races there that could be very pivotal. Republicans want to recapture the majority in the state senate. Right now, it's an 11-10 Democratic majority there. Justin Jones, Becky Harris race right now, and that's been getting a lot of heat. Harris, quiet, Jones out there. Both got media out there right now. How do you feel about that race?
I think it's a great race. Becky's really working very hard. You know, she isn't talking to some of the media that, you know, that's caused a little bit of complaining, but she is out in the media. You know, she's had some articles in the New York Times and other, you know, outlets out there as well. But she's really focused on talking to constituents, being at the door, learning what people want, and actually meeting people, you know, more than just going out and politicking.
You have the other race as well with Patricia Farley against Marilyn Dondera Loop.
Right.
What are you hearing on that one? Because Patricia Farley, once again, has been very quiet with
Yeah,
the local
both
media.
8, 9, and 20. They've been a little quiet with. They've been quiet with the media, but that's because they're in the trenches. They're out there. They're working hard to win these races.
But there was
No, it
a
is
poll
not.
release. Yes, actually, there was a
That's-
poll release last week
But
where
that's,
it had
but that's
3 of
not,
them
but
winning.
that's not why they're being quiet with the media. They want to avoid any kind of mistakes and any kind of missteps. They're chickens.
Democrats did
They're
that in
spineless.
2008,
Yes, they
and it's
did,
a
and that was
strategy.
spineless as well. And it's a spineless
But they
strategy,
won.
and it's very bad for democracy. But it raises another question. It goes back to my earlier one. Given all the importance about the Republicans taking over the Senate, although it's not clear to me what they want to do with it once they get it, but given that importance, why couldn't Michael Roberson find some candidates who had the spine to actually go and talk to the press? You'd think there would have been people that would like to do that. Why instead did he find these milquetoasts who can't be bothered to answer a question when a reporter calls them?
They're busy talking to the constituents. They're, you know, they're not talking to the media. That's
How
their
do
choice.
you reach,
That's
but
their choice.
when you're talking to the press then, aren't you talking to constituents then? Don't you
Absolutely.
reach more of them that way?
Not necessarily. And their campaign knows what they're doing. The polling shows that they're doing just fine. They're out there. It's a great race.
Do you think it's
we're
good
looking
for
really well.
democracy to see these kinds of races run?
Well, let's see,
As
they're having-
Amy mentioned, Democrats did it too. Do you think it's good for democracy?
So they're having one-on-one conversations with actual constituents. They're
Answer
actually
my
going to
question.
represent. Absolutely.
Great for democracy. All you candidates out there, you heard it. Republican Party thinks you should just shut up. Democrats,
Oh my
you too.
goodness. Put your megaphone down,
All right.
you. Okay.
He's gonna start taking decaf, but we're gonna go to a break. The last point is what you get next.
I like the enthusiasm.
We are here with Nick Phillips. He is the political director of the Clark County Republican Party. Again, thanks for coming on our
Absolutely.
program. A lot of races we actually didn't get to because you were being so low key as usual.
He was
and
passionate.
during the,
Very
the
excited.
whole discussion. Secretary of State, you wanted to talk about. That's an interesting race.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
a
particular one.
Very interesting race. You just had Kate Marshall on the other day,
And-
you know, she's really out there and pulling the wool over the voters' eyes. She's talking about how she recovered this $50 million. She didn't. She actually moved money from the general fund to cover the loss. And it's just moving the money from the right pocket to the left pocket and saying, here's my money. And she's really not doing it. She's just going out there. And just 2 days ago, she got an $850,000 settlement that she lost and $1 million that she spent in legal fees. She's just wasting money in the treasurer's office.
Now I
You're-
feel like I'm going to have to do this to Hugh right now and hold him back.
Hold him back.
All right, I'll give you 20 seconds. Got anything?
No, I don't. I mean, I think that you are wonderful at coming on and bringing these Republican talking points as prepared by the campaigns. When it, unfortunately, like so much of the campaigns in Nevada this year, have to do with these kinds of things.
Well, she's wasting our money
well,
as
you
the
just hang on.
treasurer.
I said he gave me 20 seconds. Instead of actually issues that matter to the state.
I guess losing
This-
money as the treasurer doesn't matter.
And in all fairness, we
yes.
will have Barbara Sagaski on as
Great.
well.
Maybe we need to stand in the middle, you and me,
know.
and we'll just
So,
have that.
yeah.
So tomorrow we're going to get
Dr. Annette Tejera,
yeah,
who's
we do.
running in Congressional District 1.
against Dina Titus. That's
Yes.
going to be obviously something we'll talk to her about. So anyway, thank you for your time today. We're going to hose Hugh down and have him calm down a little bit and send you out the door.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks
again.
a lot. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
you.